Give you guys a heads up of what's going to happen today. We are going to go through these specifically Canvas course setup. So we're going to locate the S2 courses or semester 2 courses if you don't know where those are already. We're going to talk about creating a page and specifically creating a home page and adding content to that, and then setting it as the home page so that the first thing that students see is that home page, and then finally publishing your course. We'll mention calendar and announcements in there, and then I'm going to also point out a training portal, which is a new item in Canvas for us. So let me get my Canvas loaded up here. So I have my courses that I'm already enrolled in that really are already published. But if I'm looking for additional courses, and as a reminder, this is the exact same thing for students. So make sure that you are telling them this, because I've heard plenty of times the kids enrolled in my class, but they're not seeing it on their dashboard. Where is the course? And it's typically because they haven't starred that course. So if we start on the left-hand side and go to courses, and then all courses, you're going to see I have a ton of courses because I do a lot of playing around in here, but you guys should just see your semester 2 classes. And so the one that I'm looking for right now is my S2 sample course. So I'm just going to add a star to that. There's no save button on this page, so I just add a star and then I go back to my dashboard. For seasoned Canvas users, this is something that you probably do every single semester. You go in, you star your courses, and you unstar the ones that you don't want. So all those courses will show up there, and then you can just star those courses. For your students, they are able to rearrange their tiles. I don't know if you guys knew that, but you can actually rearrange the tiles on your dashboard. That used to be just, I think it was alphabetical order before this, but you can rearrange now. And if they click those 3 dots, they can nickname their class and also change the color of it. And this is going to correspond to the color of the calendar when we get into that later, if they do want to nickname the course, because I know sometimes the course names are very odd, or they start with semester 2 and then they've got some numbers and things like that. So if they want to change that course and make it math, science, social studies, they can do that easily. And it just changes for them. A few other things about the dashboard here. They will have a to-do list on the right-hand side, and those are not going to go away until they actually do those things, or if they click this X here. And it's just letting me know, hey, once a new submission happens, these will reappear. So now I'm gonna get into my course. So this right now is currently a brand new course. So I haven't done anything on it. I created it this morning. So first thing I want to make sure that I do is create some kind of landing page for the students. If you are a module user, it might be your modules that the students land on. There might be a welcome module first that gives them some information, particularly information about remote learning. And then there might be content modules below that. If I want just a welcome page, maybe it's got my syllabus, it's got a message about the remote learning, or it directs the students in some way to what they should be doing, I'm going to start in pages. So I'm going to click on pages. And if you've already created a page before and you've already created a front page, when you clicked on pages, it probably brought you to a page. And then at the top left, you won't see it on mine, but you would see it on yours if you have this. It will say view all pages. And that then is going to give you all of your page content. So I'm going to add a new page here. So I'm just going to click plus page. I'm going to make my editor just a little bit bigger, and I'm going to zoom in on my screen so you guys can see everything. So I've got my new editor here, and remember we did have an update on our rich content editor, so this webinar is sort of perfect timing because I'm going to go through all of these items as well, but I'm just going to name this homepage. It actually doesn't really matter what I put on there because the students are not going to see the name of the page. So I'm just going to say, welcome to our class. Now, what you'll notice is when I wanted to make this text bigger, I didn't come here and just make it bigger. I came here where it says paragraph, and I'm going to make this into a heading. This makes your page way more accessible for students. So if you have a student that is using a screen reader, or even if you don't think you have a student using a screen reader, but maybe you might, it would be good to start using headings. So I use heading 2 for my class welcome. And then I'm going to go down. So this is my welcome message. And maybe I have this welcome message typed out, but then I also have a video of my welcome message. So as a reminder, you have Screencastify available to you. It's unlimited recording. There's no limit on the time you can record on a single webcast, as well as how many you can do. So utilizing Screencastify is going to be awesome here. So I can take a Screencastify video and just put it right here in my rich content editor. Now, the reason I say Screencastify is because in this menu here where I could actually record and upload my own media, we do know that there is a little issue right now with this content. It's letting them record, but when it gets put onto the page, it looks kind of funky or it's not clickable. The kids can actually watch it. But what we know is that Screencastify videos work all the time. And they're stored in your Google Drive. They're not course specific, all that kind of stuff. So I would always kind of recommend using Screencastify. It has an editor with it, all that. So Screencastify video. So I'm actually just I'm going to go ahead and maybe put a Screencastify video in. So I clicked my plug over on the right-hand side, and I'm going to go to my Google Apps. And I was hoping it wasn't going to take forever to load just for the sake of time. I'm going to scroll through all of these wonderful folders that I have. Of course, it ends there. Let's go back up. Maybe I don't. So I'm just going to go ahead and link this video here. So here's my quick wins with Screencastify. I can also, as you saw, I could choose to embed that video. We're doing a Screencastify webinar next Monday, I believe. And so we're going to talk actually more, and we'll talk specifically about how to add those things to Canvas. So if you're interested in that, you can always join us for that. If you saw here, when I link something, so let me link something else, PFC webpage. When I link content here, so I'm going to come up to my little link icon there, and I'm going to choose an external link, and then I'm going to add my URL. I do get options when I click on that URL or that external link that I have there. When I click options, oh, this apparently is not going to give me very many options. How about this one? Nope. Some of our links will allow us to open that link in a new web page. Of course, this is not working right now because I'm recording this session, but I can open a link in a new page. So if you do ever see that options, make sure that you click on that. And going through this menu here, I have my text editing that I can do. And then I've got some paragraph editing. And then obviously I added a link. So let me go ahead and add a course link here. So I don't have any assignments, but if I did, my assignments would show up here. So this is going to be really helpful as you guys are building content, especially if you're going to be using your homepage as your sort of course navigation. You're going to be able to link directly to course content within there. So you don't have to copy and paste those links, yourself. You're going to be able to. It used to be over on the right-hand side, it used to be like a content picker. It will be the same idea here in course links. And I believe that's where I would get that open in a new tab option. So if I continue on here, I have images, so I can upload an image. This is going to allow me to use things like Unsplash. And we've talked about this in the past. Don't use Unsplash because that content might be filtered for students. Actually upload your own pictures within your web page. And then as I continue on, I have that record and upload media, adding documents. I can still add tables and equations there. And then the last thing that I already did there was my Google plugin. I can add Google Documents there if I need to. And then as I scroll down here, I can save and publish. I can just save it if I'm not ready to publish it yet. But I do want to give you a warning because I don't know if Jenny has seen this, but I've definitely seen this with teachers, particularly when they're using their laptops. So as they scroll down the page, for some reason, this box right here, Allow in Mastery Paths, accidentally gets checked. And what happens then is it makes it so that the students actually cannot see the content. So if for some reason, see, you saw that there. So if I'm just like sort of near it, it checks and unchecks very easily. If for some reason your students can't see your homepage and you know everything else it's published, everything looks good on your end, just go ahead and check this box because you never know. It may have accidentally been checked, particularly when we're using our trackpad. So I'm going to save and publish my homepage here. And it should pop up right away. So here's my homepage. It looks great, wonderful. Maybe I have some graphics in there. My Google Doc actually embedded it, all that kind of stuff. So right now I have this as a homepage, but if I go home, it's not actually my homepage. I still get this. So I still have an unpublished course. I still have no content really on my homepage. So I'm going to go back to my pages and you'll see I have homepage here. And if I go all the way to the right-hand side with the 3 dots, I can choose Use as Front Page. We have had Canvas for almost 5 years now, and they have not changed this process. It's still the same process. Create a page, choose Use as Front Page, and now you'd think I'm going to go to my home, and it's still not my home page. So one last step is going to be choose Home Page. And now I get this page's front page and save. Now, if you copy content from semester to semester, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. If you copy content from semester to semester and you copy your pages and your course settings, this will copy each time. So you won't have to make this change. So if you're like, man, I really haven't done that in a while, but my homepage is always there, that's probably why, because you're copying all of your content from semester 1 or from last year. So that does stick when you copy that course. So then I have my homepage here. Now, if I go out onto my dashboard and back to my course, I can see my homepage and I can actually edit directly from this view here. So I can edit my homepage. The next thing I want to show you is adding content to the class is going to be, obviously you can add brand new content if maybe you're a newer teacher or you haven't utilized Canvas a whole bunch in your class before, you can add content directly to Canvas. And we have an assignments webinar coming up on Thursday, a quizzes webinar coming up next Tuesday, and then a discussions and conferences webinar next Wednesday. So please join us if you've got questions on those. But if I have maybe used a course in the past and I want to copy some of that content over, I can come into my course settings here and I can import course content, and that's going to allow me to copy a Canvas course, which should be hopefully language you've heard before, copy a Canvas course, and then for you, it'll give you a little drop-down menu on how to actually copy that content. I'm going to go back to my outline and just make sure that I am, yes. Okay, so a couple other things in here. Right now, let's say I have added my content for the week. I'm ready for next week. We've got a homepage, all that stuff. I want my students to get into it. Right now, my students cannot get into my course, and that's because it's not published. We've seen this a couple times where teachers are totally ready to go, everything is set up, but their students are still not seeing that course. The courses do need to be published in order for students to see it. Once they start, then it's going to be on their dashboard, but it has to be published first. That's really the first step, because as you probably know, especially in the high schools, we have a lot of random courses that come over from PowerSchool, and we might not want to publish those. So you actually have to physically come in here and say, publish this course, and then it's going to publish it for students, and it's going to make it available as something that they can star on their dashboard. So now you can see I have this published icon there. And the other thing I want to mention is if you're a newer Canvas user and you're like, I just want to see, like, what would my students see if they went to this? Canvas does have something, and you can see it on the bottom right-hand side here. Student view is going to be super helpful when you're looking at, is this item published correctly? Can my students actually see it? What are they seeing? So you can see here, this is my student view. They would see this sample course. They can see my quick wins with Screencastify. They can see my link to the TSC webpage. So I've got all my content here. And then if I added any other content over here on the side, they're going to see that as well. So a few other things just to close out this session. And if you guys have any questions, please go ahead and add them to the chat right now, because I'll answer those questions right after I'm done with these two things. So the last two parts are the calendar and what was that? Announcements. So first we have the calendar, and a few things with the calendar. Again, if you have not used the calendar very much, this might be something new for you. On the right-hand side of your calendar, you're going to see all of your courses that you have for this semester. Now I have a lot of courses, obviously. You're also going to see a calendar that has your name on it. When I go to add content to a day, let's say I want to add content to tomorrow, from my course calendar, what you'll notice is it pops up. It's got this beautiful page. I can click assignment. I want to make sure that when I choose to add something to my calendar, that I select the correct calendar. Can't tell you how many times I've seen teachers add events to their own calendar, and then the students can't see it. Now, I would imagine that a lot of the things that you guys are adding will be assignments, but we can still add an event, and maybe it's just like the agenda for that day or the expectations for the week. Just make sure that you come down here at the bottom and choose the correct calendar. But let's say that I didn't. So I'm going to add this content to my calendar. Boom. I've got the whole day. I've got it all set up. I put my expectations in there. I've got a Screencastify video. It's awesome, but it's on the wrong calendar. I'm going to click that event, and I'm going to choose edit, and then look at that. I can still move my calendar. So all is not lost if you put it on the wrong calendar, but do make sure that you're paying attention to the right-hand side here and seeing what calendar that event is actually being put on. All right, the last piece of this is announcements. I think announcements are sort of the unsung hero in Canvas. I love them. I always used to use them when if I was going to be absent or if I needed to. When I taught the college courses, we used them not really as a discussion board, but just like a getting to know you kind of thing. But I think announcements are going to be huge right now with remote learning, because you don't have that face-to-face with students like you used to. So let's say you need to tell the student something. It's not really organically fitting in your content that you've already put out there, but you need these students to know this. Announcements are definitely going to be the way to go. They're very easy to create. It's going to be very similar to creating all the other content. So if I click plus announcement here on the top right-hand corner, I'm going to see a similar interface with a rich content editor. Once it loads, a rich content editor, I've got a title, I've got a rich content editor. I can choose what sections to post it to. I can also choose like individual students if I want them to see that announcement. Maybe I've just got one class that needs to see it. I can also, this is awesome, by the way, I can delay the posting, because maybe I want an announcement to go out tomorrow. Let's say tomorrow's really our first remote learning day. I want an announcement to go out tomorrow, but I don't want to have to get up at 7 a.m. to post that announcement. I just want it to go out. So I'm going to choose delay posting, and then it will post at a particular day and time for me. And I made this comment yesterday. I can just sit back and relax and drink my coffee or sleep in, and I don't have to worry about that because I know it's automatically going to post. I can also allow users to comment on my announcement, and maybe they have to post before they see anybody else's comment. This is very similar to discussions. So when we talk about that next week, I'll highlight that. You can even allow liking and just let the students know, hey, when you read this announcement, just click like, and then you know that students, you're getting a little receipt that they have read that announcement. The last piece of this before I go to questions is there is a new training sort of module that Canvas has put together on the left-hand side here where you would click to submit a help ticket. There is a training services portal, and there are some great Canvas training videos and courses. So if you are a new teacher or you know a new teacher that might need some, when we first introduced Canvas, we all sort of went through this like 3-hour training. It's much more condensed, and they can pick and choose kind of what they watch and what they go through. But it is a great way to get some of those beginner questions answered. If you're a high flying Canvas user and you're looking for questions to answers to very specific questions, searching the Canvas guides is going to be super helpful. That's our sort of secret weapon to here. That's the thing that we use all the time to answer your questions when they come up.